Welcome back, guys. Well, it's a nice cold winter day. It's minus 26 outside, and I'm here at the cabin preparing for Christmas. Stay tuned. Just want to show you how cold it is. It's minus 26 this morning. If you don't believe me, I'm going to take this cup of water and watch it freeze. That's not going to work. We got here yesterday afternoon. It was around minus 11, and we got the heater all started up. So yesterday came in, couldn't drive in yesterday, so had the snowmobile and had a beautiful ride in. Check it out. So I had to get everything set up, of course, the heater going, and yeah, I'll be really glad not to have that heater much longer. And it, because it was so cold outside, minus 26, we were only able to heat the cabin to about 11 degrees, which is fine, if you have all your sweaters on and things like that. So had a big meal of pasta last night and some hot chocolate, so had some fuel to keep warm overnight. So today what we're going to do is got to get our Christmas tree finally, and check the trail cams and get everything ready in the cabin here for Christmas time. So just taking a look around camp right now. Everything's all frozen. Trees are cracking in the woods. It's so cold. There's a sled where she rested from last night. Everything is really quiet in the woods today, all except for me. And there's the cabin. Really don't know how long the camera's going to last today. It's doing pretty good here, but I've got a few extra batteries and I've got to keep them really close to me to keep them warm. It's just beautiful out here. Just love how everything's all frozen and icy looking. Just awesome. Well, I guess we gotta get some breakfast going here, get some fuel for the rest of the day. I was thinking of making some French toast and hot chocolate and, of course, a little bit of bacon. So let's get started. Just gonna get some hot chocolate poured before I head outside and make breakfast. Oh, that feels good after being out in the cold. So I'm just gonna make some French toast. I'm gonna cut some thin layers of this cinnamon raisin bread and batter them in a little bit of egg. It's gonna be really good. I didn't make this bread, but it looks really good. Look at all the raisins and everything. A couple of pieces each. Doing all the prep inside because it is really cold out there right now. Just sort of preparing the cook stove, and geez, my hands froze to the little propane tank there, so best to do this inside. Just gonna crack a few eggs here. Just going to dunk each side in a bit of the egg. I'll just kind of stage them on this other plate here. Ooh, it's a bit of a mess. So I can take them outside. This is going to be good, guys. All right, so those are ready to go outside, and then we'll just get the bacon going in the pan as well. Nothing beats bacon on a cold day, right, guys? Okay. Perfect. Ready to head out and do some cooking. It's looking good. All the steam coming off of there because how cold it is. Oh, this is going to taste great. Need to warm up this morning. Good calories. Well, here's the final product. Doesn't that look good? I'm just gonna put a little bit of maple syrup on top. Oh yeah. Breakfast is served. Gonna give this a try. Really good. Gotta try this. Cinnamon raisin bread made as French toast. It's really good. Well, I'm just gonna have my breakfast now, and then after we'll head out and take a look for a Christmas tree. Another thing I'm gonna be working on here this morning at the cabin is getting started on my Christmas cards. How many of you send Christmas cards these days? I know it's really fallen out of favor, but I really enjoy sending them. I think it's really special to get something in the mail that's not a bill. So gonna be working on those this morning as I'm getting started on the day. I want to show you this really cool thing I picked up the other day from a foundry. It just looks like a boat prop. I love cast iron items, and thought I'd have a little cast iron piece for the cabin. Well, it looks like it's as warm as it's gonna get today. Guess we better get suited up and get on with it. I want to take you around the side of the cabin here and show you something. Looks like I've got a little bit of a fox coming around and messing around underneath the cabin. You can see down here there's been a little bit of digging and a little bit of poop. And if you walk all the way around to the other side, you can see our tracks here, but you can also see that there's some tracks actually that come out there, and it actually went out here and down the pathway. So that's really interesting. I think we have a fox or something checking out the cabin. I think what I'll do is I'll set up a trail camera right on the cabin here and we'll see what we find. That'd be really cool. I mean, I don't mind that the fox is hanging around. I hope we get some of the mice that have been plaguing our attic for a while. All right, well, all geared up and ready to head out on the hunt for the Christmas tree. So we don't have a ton of snow here right now. I'm actually kind of surprised. Maybe about 4 or 5 inches or so. So I can't really take the snowmobile back looking for a tree. I'm gonna be on foot this time. So I'll just take a look. You know, not very deep at all. I'm not even gonna be wearing some snowshoes today. Really no point. So we'll just head on out and look for the tree. At the end of the day, it may actually be something that we find in the field, but gonna go on a hike and look at the trail cams, make sure they're in position, and keep our eyes peeled for a good Christmas tree. Came back here in the snowmobile the other day, and it's really rough back here. It's pretty low snow conditions, so all the little stumps and everything are sticking out, so you gotta be really careful. You can see a coyote followed my trail there, so very cool. Hopefully we'll get one on the camera up ahead. Well, there's lots in this location right here, but they're pretty big trees. Gotta thin some out, but well, that guy's a little bit too big. That's more like the Griswold family Christmas. Anyway, we'll kind of poke around here. I'll take a look, see if there's anything that fits our needs. All right, so there's one right here. Where you kind of top it there and see if it fits. Gonna knock all the snow off of it, but this might be one we're looking for.
I mean, that can be a good thing sometimes. When pushing it against the wall. Well, that's all got to go.
So I was thinking if you cut it like right there.
You'd be cutting it off up here somewhere, right?
Yeah. And those are big branches are like several feet long.
So is that good?
Well, I guess you could trim them. I don't know.
Yeah. Because this side, you could put this side against the wall.
There's that one over there too. Go check that out. All right, we found one and it's back this way. You can see it up there. Really bushy and symmetrical at the top, so we'll take it out and grab our Christmas tree. All right, so this is the tree, and we're gonna take it down. Let's do it. Whoa!
That's cool. All right.
Okay. And that's all she wrote. Always looks way bigger when it's on the ground. So I'm gonna take off some of the branches and take in a reasonable amount of the tree. You don't want it kind of bending on the ceiling, a la Griswold style. Speaking of that, that was one of my favorite holiday movies. What's your favorite holiday movie? Put it down in the comments below. Really good. And I'll take the rest. I'll probably make a wreath out of the rest of the boughs here. One thing when the branches are frozen is that they really break off easily. That's part one for now. We'll take this out. We'll probably have to trim it back some more, but we'll do it. Let's see what it looks like. I love making wreaths for the door, so it's really easy. Just get some of these, get some wire, instant wreath. You can put some dried wildflowers, you know, from the field or something like that. Tuck it in, some berries. Bob's your uncle, you've got a wreath. Well, here it is, pretty big. Probably gonna take another 2 feet off at the bottom. And the top is about, well, the topper's about 3 feet long, so that doesn't need to be that tall either. So do a little fancy work and this should be our tree, no problem. Well, the bay is all frozen over, but I don't trust the ice at this point. You know, it's snow covered. Also take a look at that color, that grayish snow. You don't ever want to trust that. So I'm just basically going to stick along the shoreline if I'm going to be doing any walking out here. Ice is just too thin right now, kind of dangerous. I'd wait to walk on ice until it was about, you know, 4 inches thick just to be on the absolute safe side. Areas out here don't freeze evenly and the bay drains out, so last thing you want is to fall through and then to fall down onto the empty riverbed floor, because the top freezes before the bottom and the bottom drains out to the river. So this ice is particularly treacherous, so you always want to be careful. Alright, so we're back at the cabin and I think we're going to take off the bottom foot in a bit here because it's just really too tall. And then we'll take it back in the cabin and test it out and make sure everything fits. I love this little pocket saw. Does the job. And just like that. Oh, that's nice actually. Look at that, that's almost like fat wood. It's like really resinous in there, so might actually, oh yeah. That's actually quite good. I'm going to keep this. We saw it up in little chunks because it looks almost like fat wood there. So a lot of you guys are into that for starting fires. So this looks really, really resinous. So I think I'm going to keep that and investigate that a little farther. It's also really, really heavy, which is a good sign. Back inside now, and you can see got the tree up in here and it's just shy of 10 feet tall. So the reason I've got it set up in here is that I want to have it thawed out so that we can bind it to put in the car to take home. Also figured that, you know, while it's up, we have a few decorations here that I used to put on the pine out in the field there a few years ago. So I thought maybe we'll just decorate it in here too and have a little bit of fun. But before that, made some lox sandwiches for lunch. So smoked salmon and avocado and tomato and cream cheese. So I'm gonna have this before we decorate the tree. All right, so I'm gonna work on making the wreath. So I'm just gonna take the leftover scraps from the Christmas tree and just use some twine and make a nice wreath. So I'm just gonna start by tying a knot and picking one spot here on the wreath. You can hide this after by adding more boughs. Gonna go like that. I'm gonna form a base for the wreath, and then what we can do after is just add more branches to hide the brown twine. It's really tricky working out in all this cold barehanded. It's awful. So you got to work fast. So it's coming along, as you can see. And then we'll make it prettier by adding other things to it, like birch bark and things like that. If you had some wild berries that were still colorful this time of year, then you could add that as well. There you go, a wreath for the cabin door. In the springtime, I'll also use these, once it dries out, I'll use it as kindling for the springtime. So I'm just gonna do a few little more decorations on it, and I'm gonna hang it on the door. On my trails, I checked out the trail cameras there, and I ended up with a few good videos. So just wanted to show you what I found. The woods have been pretty quiet. I've seen evidence of ravens and a little flock of purple finches, chickadees of course, and also rabbit tracks, coyote, fox, a little bit of fisher tracks as well. So things are slowly moving around. You know, when it's this cold, things kind of wait till sunny days like today to get on the move. So here's the wreath. Just finishing it up with some dried flowers here. And I've got some birch bark on there. Decided to put it on the front of the cabin because I think it looks pretty cool. Stick that in here. You can really make these whatever you want them to be. Yeah, a little bit down here I think. Perfect. Right on. And then if you want to add a little ornament to it for the holidays, you can do that as well. There we go. Well, that looks perfect. I'm really happy with how that turned out. Really nice festive holiday wreath for the cabin. Really gets me in the Christmas spirit. Now that the wreath's done, I'm going to head back in, warm up, and decorate the Christmas tree. So some of you may recognize these bulbs from when I decorated a pine tree out in the field. So as you can see, we've been working away at the tree here, putting the bulbs up just to kind of see what things would look like while waiting for the tree to thaw. So I think this is going to work out just fine. They look great. Of course, here's the usual little tree topper. We've got this little poinsettia, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get up there. Probably have to bend it down to get that. Right, I'm getting there. Yay! There we go, I topped the tree. Well, clearly the tree is a little too big for this environment, but it's going to fit in just great at home. Well, after all these activities today, I'm definitely feeling in the Christmas spirit. Before we start losing our light, I'm going to head out on a little bit of a snowmobile ride. Let's go. The woods are a little rough back there, so we'll just stick on the trail. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's adventure. Well, all the best this holiday season. Take care.